Hey there, Chris from the Old Man Cycling Show. It's been quite a while since I put a video out there, so this is the Ardmore 2025 Rock-n-Ride Classic. This is the men's 55 and 65 plus race. I'm in the 55 plus race. I haven't been doing a whole lot of crits this year. I've been really focused on gravel racing, having a good gravel season. Some videos, I got a bunch of video content that I just haven't gone back and edited yet, but I will eventually get around to it. I'm doing a PA gravel series. I did the Rift in Iceland, but more on that in future videos. This is all about this road race. So this is the 8th annual Ardmore Rock-n-Ride Criterium. It's a really fun day in Ardmore. They closed the downtown down. They have a bunch of vendors out there. They got bands. They have family events. It's really a great day in Ardmore, PA, and it's a fun race too. So right as we get off the bat, let's go through the course. We're about ready to get started, and turns 1 and 2 are probably the most fun turns on the course. One's not really that bad, but it sets up for turn 2, which really makes things enjoyable. Generally, if there is a crash, it's in turn 2 or it's in turn 5. So here we go. So you get off the start here, and as usual, the two big teams in the race are Bigfoot in the orange and Active Yards, or Alchemy, I think their new sponsor is, in the white with the black kits with the green stripes. So those two teams had good representation. So here we come to turn 1. It's not a bad turn, but you go down this little hill under the railroad bridge, and this is where it gets fun, right? So there's some manhole covers and stuff, and you can go through them. And this is the turn that a lot of people have trouble with. You get it at speed, and then you swings you wide, and you can see the gate comes in, pinches in a little bit on the left side to move you back to the center of the course. This is the back stretch. This is through Suburban Station, or the Suburban Square, I forget what it's called. So you're wind through all the shopping centers. You can see they have gates up along the whole course. All these shops are open. Bands come out and play. There's food. It's just, like I said, it's a fun day. So now we're coming around the back stretch. And up here, there will be a right-hand turn. We'll bend a little bit to the left first. This is just a real gradual bend, and then it comes right here at the dry cleaners, a nice right turn, and you can see those little water meter covers. I aim for that every time because I hate it anyway. I might as well aim for it. Come around here, and now we're coming to the one little climb on the course, and it's really not bad, but after doing it lap after lap after lap and wanting to maintain your pace, it does get your legs a little bit. It's 50 meters at most. It's the bridge over the railroad tracks. So now you come down the other side, coming into turn 6, which is into the home stretch. So you can come down here at speed, and you'll see that as we get further and further into the race, the pace will pick up. But this is now you're back on the main drag, right? So this is the start-finish straight. It's a little bit uphill at the beginning. You can sort of see, if you look at it, there's a traffic light up ahead. There's a little hump there. That's sort of where it crests the top of this little uphill drag, and then it is flat or maybe even slightly downhill. So with respect to this race, I did have a strategy going into it. So the past 2 years, I've won a preem in this race. So goal number 1 was to try to get a preem. Goal number 2 was, I figured, hey, I'm going to go for it. I haven't done much road racing. If I see the right people going in a break, I'm going to try to go with it. And again, in this race, because it's really, Bigfoot and Active Yards are in it, and I'm sorry, Active Yards guys, I forget the new name. I do think it's Alchemy, but I'm just going to keep referring to you as Active Yards for now, because it's still on your kit, so I think I'm okay doing that. So anyway, getting back to my strategy, I figured, hey, if I see a break go that has the right combination of people, basically a person that's strong from Active Yards and a person that's strong from Bigfoot, I'm going to try to go with it, because there's potential that move can stick. So you can see there's an active yards guy moving up a little bit on the right. Bigfoot guy at the front here. I don't remember at this point if that was Joe from Bigfoot on the front. I think it might be Marty from Active Yards that's coming up here. I'm not really sure, but you know, I just want to stay near the front in case something goes with these guys, because we're getting the right combination of teams at the front of the race. You know, with that many numbers, you know, if they get a break off the front, their teams can sort of sit at the front of the peloton and sort of keep things in check. So, you know, just wanted to really pay attention. There were some moves here and there, nothing really to worry about just yet. Just sort of keep an eye on things. Coming back down over the railroad bridge, back on to 30. And I do really like this course. I like a technical course that has some good turns and things like that, and that I tend to do better on those. You know, those ones that are just an oval where you're just pedaling. You know, there's no real excitement in that for me. I mean, it's still hard, don't get me wrong, but I like the technical ones because it does give me an opportunity to do a little bit better than I would on other courses. So you can see the one guy waving over that, you know, that fence does pinch in from the left. Yeah, it's Joe still up on the front. So we're finishing up lap 2 here, and the way these races work, I think I've explained it to you before. This is a 45-minute race, so they take your first couple of laps and they try to get your average lap time, and at some point in the race to put up the number of laps remaining, and that's effectively subtract the amount you've already done, take your average lap time, divide it into the time that's remaining, that's how many laps you have left. So that usually comes up after, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 to even longer, depending on how long the race is, laps. So, you know, right now it's still sitting at 0 because they haven't posted how many laps are yet. So now you can see we're picking up the pace a little bit. And so I really, at this point, I'm like looking to see, okay, you know, if something goes, and I'm looking for a particular person from Bigfoot, Tim, who is a really, really strong rider. I enjoy riding with Tim. I see him at my, there goes, I think that's Marty flying off the side for Active Yards. I enjoy riding with Tim. He's a really strong rider, very smooth rider, very predictable rider, and you know, so I'm really watching for Tim to start making a move. So you can see there, you know, Marty from Active Yards is going, somebody's chasing him down. So I figure, okay, we'll see what happens here, because Marty's a really strong rider. You know, he can drive a break. So I'm trying to bridge up to these two guys. At this point, I'm pretty sure, you know, the group's still behind me. Like when I came out this side there and accelerated, I think they're still there. But you know, this is looking promising. So we're back on the home stretch now, coming up the little grind. I got onto the wheel that I wanted to. You know, try to catch my breath a little bit here. Marty's still driving hard. There's a move on the right side. No real reaction yet. And you'll see that the move that just went on the right side, he'll look back and see that nobody came along with him. And in that instance, you know, it's going to be hard for a single rider to stay off the group like this. So I think eventually the person that just went off on the right will end up coming back. Coming into turn 1 down the hill, and I really like when you don't have anybody in front of you going down this hill, or if you have somebody in front of you that rides the same as you do. I mean, you can really you can go full gun into that turn. There's no issues. It does have a couple of surface changes from asphalt to blocks. And Marty's now going. So I think at this point, if memory serves right, I think at this point we're going to see Tim come up from Bigfoot. Now I don't think there's a real gap yet, but I think it's starting to get really strung out. So I think this let me just see here. So this is going through the turn that I hit that little water hole cover every time. Not a manhole, but it's just like a little water hole. I don't know. My mind's drawn to it, I guess. So Marty's done a really good job pulling this away. So coming around this turn, you know, I came through, because at this point I think, okay, there is a good chance. I still haven't looked behind me yet, because I don't know. I can't turn my head when I'm riding. I can't turn my head to the right. And there comes Tim. So now that Tim came across, I'm like, okay, this is a good move, because we got Tim, we got Marty, and I'm just, you know, I'm gonna work. But these two guys are really, you know, I sort of feel like I'm along for the ride with these two guys. But you know, I do think I did do a fair amount of work. But at this point, you know, I can see Tim looking around. You know, I sort of got the signal from Tim that, hey, you know, let's keep pushing. We're getting a gap on things. So yeah, I'm more than happy to keep going. It's just I don't like going on that stretch. So here comes Marty. So now we're back. Now we're back in good shape. So now I'm in a really good position to be able to catch my breath a little bit. You know, you can see my heart rate's you know, not too bad. You know, I like to keep it below 165. Well, that was Ramon. Ramon had come into the group. And you'll see, I don't want to spoil things, but you'll see he'll come back a little bit later. That wasn't Marty. That was Ramon. He'll be back in play in a little bit. So now I'm just getting back up to Tim's wheel. And at this point, it's pretty clear that we have a good, not a big gap, but the gap's starting to open up. And like I said, you know, if there was a camera behind me, you would probably see that the Active Yards and Bigfoot teams were in the peloton sort of controlling it, right? Because they were both well represented with strong riders in this group. And I got the benefit of sort of tagging along. So, hey, I give myself kudos, not to you know, congratulate myself, but I saw the move coming and was able to follow it. Now the question becomes, am I able to stay in it? And I'm not going to give any spoilers. And this is not Marty, this is one of Marty's teammates. Coming back through turn 6, back onto the main drag. We're moving pretty good here. It's not a big grade, but it's enough that you know you can feel you're going up. I mean, it might be a 2% grade at most. It's just enough to let your legs know that you're not on a flat road. And the funny thing was, so I have the background noise turned off, but a lot of the people I ride with were at this race. You know, I ride with my Cycles by Kyle friends. We ride in this area, so there's a lot of people there. And going around corners, I was hearing people yell, "Go Chris, go Chris," and it was pretty cool. Like, I enjoyed it. So especially my buddy Alex was yelling, "You know, you're in good spot, stay right there." I'm like, man, I wish I could. But yeah, so now we're starting to cook. Now this is what I like. So that was a really smooth time through that corner. Like I said, you can go full gas to that corner. You don't have to take any speed off at all. You know, you just do a normal corner. You cut the apex nice, and you know, you just know that the road surface is going to change, but that's okay. You know, you just keep your you know, your inside leg up, weight your outside foot, and roll through it. So at this point, I did look behind. It's the three of us, and I can see Ramon's not too far back. Ramon's close to this group, but now we're starting to open up from the main peloton. Like, there's definitely a gap opening up at this point. I don't know how big it is, but you know, when I looked back, I didn't have a clear view of them. So, you know, for a couple laps at least, it was fun being here. Like, we worked well together, I think. You know, obviously Tim and Marty did the lion's share of the work, but I do feel like I contributed a little bit. But this was fun. This was fun to be in this position. I really enjoyed it. Now this is the way I like to ride up this stretch, behind somebody, not in the front. You can see my power's still going pretty good. I mean, you know, I'm over 300 watts. So just to make sense of what the little numbers are on the left side of the screen, obviously the bottom one's my heart rate, my cadence. The first power number you see is my current power. The right-hand side power is my 30-second average power. And then, you know, obviously the distance we've gone so far in a race. Each lap is just about a mile, maybe just a little over. So we're into the 6th lap now. You can see Tim just rotated off the front. Marty's driving at the front now. Speed is good. You know, we're moving along pretty good. And again, this corner is a good corner. I like it. It really is one of those, you know, it's cool to ride it when you have confidence in the people you're riding with and you have confidence in yourself. You can just go through it. That's really enjoyable. That's the kind of course I like. And I had the opportunity to stay and watch some of the Marty just flicked me through. So like I said, you know, I did contribute, I think, to this break. You know, tried to help, but you know, I'll just admit it right off the bat. Marty and Tim are stronger riders than me, so you know, when I would pull, I would just try to maintain what we were doing, and then you know, I'd sort of drop back and you know, let them keep things motoring. So anyway, like I was saying, I watched some of the pro race, and watching those guys come through that corner, man, they use every bit of the road, and they are going, I'd say, you know, significantly might be too strong a word, but they're definitely going faster than we are. But it's so fun watching those guys. They just fly. I mean, you can if you're standing in that corner, right on the other side of the fence, you can just feel the air whoosh by you. So now you can see coming back into the corner. You know, I'm in the front on the spot I don't really want to be, but you know, I need to make my contribution. So you know, I'm a little bit higher in power than I want to be, but that's okay. You know, I want to keep the speed up because I think, you know, we've got a good move on. And then I think Tim does come around. I think it was Tim was the next person to come around. But the speed's going good. You know, we're back through the start finish, so we're starting the 7th lap now. I couldn't see that time. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know if they put the lap count up. Yeah, it's Tim that came through. But you know, at some point in time, they'll tell you how many laps you have left. And you see when Marty came through, you know, I had a little bit of a gap open up, but on this downhill, I felt pretty confident that between here and then going up this next rise, I'd get back on. You know, plenty of speed going into the corner, so you know, I'm right back where I need to be. And this road surface through here, even though it's a little bit of uphill, it's fast. It's cool. It's sort of deceiving. You know, you're going up a little rise, coming back through Suburban Square here, but it's a fast backstretch. And at this point, you know, Tim's confident that we've got a good gap. You know, and we're just continuing to move on. Let's see if I hit the water cover again. Yep, right over it. It's like a target. It's like a magnet. It draws me in. I like it. So again, we're moving pretty good. You know, it's I think everybody's doing a good amount of work, and it's paying off. So now we're back on the little uphill stretch. All right, so Ramon's back in the group now. which is, so now there's 4 of us in this group. So we're almost halfway into it, 20 minutes in, and this is sort of the beginning of the end for me being in this group. So Ramon joined on, which, you know, now these 3 guys picked up a lot of horsepower. Right now they got 3 solid workers that are, you know, they're going to work really well together. So I'm trying to hang in there, knowing that, hey, this is the one that's going to stick. Like, there's no question in my mind that this group is going to the end. But you can see that I'm starting to fall off a little bit, and I'm trying to get back there, because I know this is really the time that you got to close this down. And I think that last pull up the finishing stretch took a lot out of my legs. So the rider up ahead, that's a rider, I think that's a rider from the 65 plus. So like I said, it was a mixed race. They had the 55s and 65s, and you know, at the instructions they just tell the 65, hey, if they're coming up on you, make sure you give them room to be able to get by. You know, don't impede their race, and there was no problems whatsoever. Yeah, so now you can see, like, this gap's starting to open up, and once you let the gap go, it's just about impossible to get back on. I tried, but, you know, it was catching my breath there. You can see I wasn't doing anything, and, you know, I give it one more little effort here to try to get back onto them, and, you know, you can see, like, they're sort of looking, but I'm just far enough off the back that I don't think it's going to happen. So, like I said, I'm falling off the back, but it was cool. You know, I had my I don't know, what was it, 6, 7, 8, you know, 9 minutes of glory of being in the front. I really enjoyed it. It was fun. So now it's just a question of, okay, I want to keep riding. I don't want to come to a complete stop, but now I'm waiting, and you're going to see, you know, these guys have a good gap, because now I'm just going to ride at my own pace. And really wait for the group to come up, because I don't want to stay in no man's land by myself forever. So these guys have a, you know, they're going to work well together, and no spoiler alert, but, you know, there's your first, second, and third place finishers right there. So, you know, it would have been cool to stay on, but it just didn't happen, and that's okay. I was glad that I saw these guys go and was able to get in it and at least do a little something. So that was pretty cool. So now, like I said, you know, you're going to see I'm just waiting for the main group to catch up, and go after my original objective, which is to win a preem. And for those that don't know, a preem is like an in-race prize. So as you're coming around, the organizers will ring a bell and tell you, hey, you know, the first person around that is in the group, first person around the group on the next lap will get a prize or a preem. You know, it's something they hand out or they give out during the race, and it can vary anything from, like, you know, a grab bag of, like, you know, inner tube bar tape water bottle to some cool stuff. So more on that in a little bit. But you know, like I said, now I'm just sort of riding at my own pace, waiting for the group to catch up. And you're going to see, like, those guys are already down and past the corner, so they've got a good lead. I don't know finishing wise, you know, how close they were to catching on to the back end of the group, but they're up the straightaway already. And you can just sort of see them in the distance. You know, it's a couple hundred meters between me and them. You know, and they're just going away. I mean, I'm going a lot slower here, but they're just going away. And I keep looking back, like, okay, come on, guys, I don't want to ride by myself, but, you know, like I said, their teams were well represented in the group, and they did a really, really good job of controlling the race in that position. They knew they had strong riders in the break, and, you know, they were going to let those strong guys battle it out. So even here, like I was going around and I recognized my buddy Alex's voice, and he's like, "Come on, you still got him." I'm like, "Nah, not getting back there." So now it's just a question of, not sit in, but sort of, just keep going. And I know eventually, I'll be with guys. But you can just see the gap that they've opened up. I mean, they are really, those three guys on the front, when Ramon came up there and added that extra horsepower to Tim and Marty, it just seemed like to go up another notch. And the three of them worked really, really well together. Kudos to them. They rode a really strong race, and it was just too much for my engine. Let's see if I can miss the water cover on this one. Yes, I missed it. Not bad, huh? So I'm still moving along pretty good now. Now here comes the motorcycle. So now this is the sign. So that motorcycle basically tracks, well, I should say usually tracks the front of the main bunch. So there was a car and a police motorcycle at the front of the race, and then this motorcycle is sort of like watching the rest of the group, and he helps the officials determine do we need to pull anybody, what's going on. So again, I got my head on the swivel here. I'm just looking to see when guys are coming, because I don't want them to just blow by me. I want to be able to pick up and get into their draft when they do come by. So I was paying attention to that here. And we're more than halfway. We got about we're at 26 minutes, so the race was 45. So we got about 20 minutes left of racing to go. And right now I'm sitting in 4th place, which is pretty cool. I sat in 4th place for a while. That was cool. It's a shame that the race didn't end now, because I would have finished 4th. But still okay. Still having. I enjoyed this race. I was having fun. It was cool to get in that first group and hang in there for a while, and then more things to come. And then this is an example of, like, I really like going through that turn. When you're unencumbered and can go through it, like I said, I've said it multiple times already, that's a cool turn. So another news with respect to the team, I got to give a shout out to my teammate Crystal. She got 3rd overall in the women's, I think it was the women's 4x5 race. In the men's 4x5 race, let's see who was in that. Chris was in that. Chris did well. I think he finished 6th. He just missed points. He just missed 5th by maybe half a bike length. Alex and Alexander and Gabby from CBK rode in the 4x5 race. They all did really well. Rode a strong race. And then in the okay, here comes the group now. So you can see, like, the group comes by and I pick it up because I want to jump right back in. I don't want to get blown off the front, by these guys. So get right back in. So you can see that the front group at this point, they have a pretty good gap. I mean, I think I was riding for at least a lap and a half, if not 2 laps, before these guys caught up to me. So again, I don't know how close those 3 guys came to catching on to the back end of the field, but they were definitely pulling away. Oh, so as I was saying, so in the 3-4 race, we had Ethan and John. They both did real well in the 3-4 race. So all in all, I think the team had a good day. Kudos to Krista for getting on the podium. That's awesome. All right, so now we're starting to pick up again. So it's usually around this time in the race that you'll hear the bell ring and they'll say they usually give the preem for the peloton, which is the big group of riders, not the breakaway group. So you'll hear them ring the bell and they'll shout out, you know, hey, cream for the group on the next line around. So you know that means the first person to cross the finish line gets that reward. I wouldn't call it award. I would say reward. So now it's actually good to be riding with somebody, be back in to be able to take advantage of the drafting. You know, I don't think at this point I'm any worse for the wear. You know, I think riding at my own pace, I was able to conserve the energy I needed. So I got to figure out who that is from Active Yards, because I did notice that. You know, if you remember earlier in the video, this is the same person that came by when I was at the front, and he did not have blood on his elbow. Now you can see he had to have gone down somewhere, not sure where, and I didn't have a chance to catch up with him after the race. But you know, maybe that's why he wasn't at the front anymore. I'm not sure. So now we're coming over, and not a spoiler, but if I cross the line first here, I'm trying to remember, because I'm doing this in real time, I haven't watched the video yet. If I cross the line first here, yeah, I didn't, okay. I was going to say this was the preem lap, but it's not. And you can see like everybody's flying by me. I don't care about that. Like, you know, I'll slot in somewhere and work my way back up. You know, I'm used to doing that. I think these guys will all come together. So that might have been a preem lap. I'm not sure, because they did pick up the pace a little bit, so they might have been going for that one. But now you can see it's going to come right back together. So maybe that was a preem lap. There were 3 preems in this race. So back on the back stretch, strung out a little bit, you know, just from that's part of what preems do, right? When people start going for the preem, you know, it ups the pace, things get strung out a little bit. It gives people an opportunity to keep going if they want to, or to back off a little bit. By the way, that snoring noise you hear is my dog on my lap, if you happen to hear it. It's not me snoring while I'm doing this. This is too exciting to put me to sleep. You know, so now you know, riding good in a bunch. There was a guy that went off the front. Not sure if he stayed off or if we came back to him, or he came back to us. Let's see if we see. Yeah, there's still a guy off the front. So this was actually one of the good things about, you know, this isn't easy by any extent, but it's more controlled. You have more time to recover because you're in a bigger group. So you know, this is one good thing about being in the main bunch, is there's a lot more to spread the work around, which is good and bad, because at this point, you know, we're definitely not going back and catching the breakaway. Like, there's just not enough effort going on. However, you do see attacks coming here and there, and the pace being picked up, which, you know, that's what makes it fun. It makes it, and I like to use the word spicy. Keeps it interesting, which is the, you know, kind of racing I like to do. So you could see that fence just come in where it pinched in on the left side. I'm telling you, when the pro men's 1, 2, 3 went, holy cow, they were within inches of the fence feet. Like, I am just amazed that none of them went down. So it seems like, I remember at this point, I think there's an active yards guy off the front, and another one just went off the front of this group. And there goes a Bigfoot guy, sort of chase them down just to make sure that, you know, if something happens, that Bigfoot's covered in the chance that they might catch back up to the breakaway. And that's a nice thing about having a team there. You know, you can rely on your team to, you know, do the right things behind you. You know, come back, make sure they cover any moves, make sure if people are going after the breakaway that you got representation to do a counterattack, that kind of thing. That's Joe again. I tell you what, Joe is a great wheel to get on. He's just so smooth and steady. And Joe, I know I tell you this all the time, I really enjoy riding with you. This is just, you know, you just are very predictable. You ride a nice line, you know, always look in control, and this is just a good wheel to follow. So you can see that guy waving us by. He's definitely one of the 65 plus riders. They just, you know, like I tell everybody, it's fun to ride in this group because everybody's respectful. Everybody, you know, knows, hey, the older you get, the more it hurts if you crash. I mean, not to say they don't happen, but you know, everybody really, you know, we're competitive, no doubt about it. But everybody also, you know, sort of looks out, in my opinion, you know, sort of make sure that everybody stays safe. Don't do anything crazy. You know, it's fun to race this way. Have a good time. So there's about 7 minutes left to race, and I think there must have been a lap already where I got a preem. Because I don't have the background sound of the recording on, but I know there's another preem coming up pretty soon. You see another active yards guy go off down the right side. I know at this point too, we got about 3 laps left to go. So I'm wondering if this is the preem lap. I think it is, because I see this guy go chase down the guy in front. I'm like, okay, I got a chance here. I got a chance to catch up. So I'm just sort of pacing myself. Don't want to blow up right away and close down, but just ride steady. So I'm pretty sure this is a preem lap. So if we get over the railroad bridge and this guy hits the front, hits Lank's drag first, which is the main drag, then I think it is. But in the moment it seems so clear. Now that I'm watching it on video, I'm like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Because otherwise, I don't think I would have accelerated to chase this guy down like that if this wasn't for a crane. Because I was sort of telling everybody, before the race, I have one goal: it's to win a crane. Yes, I do think this was it. This guy is looking under his arm. I don't know who this is from Active Yards, but this was a cream, and I pretty much just get him right at the line. So here we're coming up to the line, and this was a good one. So for this cream, and there's Ron, the ultimate photographer. Shout out to Ron. He does a great job taking pictures at these races. He has a drone that flies. So for this premium, it was actually pretty cool. I won a pair of 100% sunglasses. They're really nice. If you look at the picture, that is the picture for this video, you'll see I got sunglasses, I got a nice Trek hat, new handlebar tape, which I do need to replace my tape. I have a couple minutes, I'll give you the story about that. So in the 4-5 race, I was down in turn 2, filming stuff, and I had my bike leaning against the fence, but pretty far up from the turn. And of course, somebody washed out and up the road from the turn and hit right where my bike was and sent my bike flying. So my bike ripped its bar tape as well as bent the derailleur hanger. So, doing this race, I could get into gear, but if I hit a bump, my rear derailleur would jump. So I'll be taking my bike in to get that sorted out this week. But the good news is I won handlebar tape. It's white. It matches the lettering on my bike. So I don't have to buy new bar tape to replace my torn bar tape. So now we're coming up towards the end of the race. I think we're in the third to end lap. I think we'll come around this time and it'll say 2 laps to go. And I only say that because I know how far of a distance we rode. So we're at 16.5 miles right now. I think the total distance for the race was like 18.7, I want to say. So like now, I'm at the front. I want to try to get us back up to these guys. I want to try to in my mind anyway, have it come down to a group finish. I don't know why I can't sprint, but that's sort of what I wanted to do. So I'm trying to push on, trying to make headway into getting back to these two guys to bring the whole group back together. At this point, I think there are a total of 4 or 5 guys that are up the road in the breakaway, and then there's these two, and then there goes Ron again. Ron likes to live life dangerously, right against the guardrail, thinking, hey, we all see him and we're going to make sure we avoid him. I'm only kidding, Ron. Of course I would avoid you. So now this is the part I like. So like I can come down here, and usually like any kind of spot like that where it's a little bit technical, I can make up a little ground because I don't mind going through that thing full bore. Still working, and I think at this point, on the back stretch here, I was ready to pull off, but for whatever reason, I kept going. And I believe we do get back to these guys. I'm not positive, but I think we do. Because the next time around is going to be the bell lap. It actually looks like they're opening up the gap a little bit. So let's see what happens. And by now, so this is the 17th time up this little hill, and it's pretty much cooked me. I tried to stay pretty active in the race and tried to, make some things happen, and sort of paid the price for it. And that was Joe's teammate Matt just came through, chasing that guy up there. So we are on the final lap now. You can see, Matt and the other guy that went with him got the two guys in the front, brought them back. Joe did a nice job of closing that down. So now we're coming back. You're gonna witness how powerful my sprint is. Over the bridge, make the turn on to the home stretch, and then people are going to go for it. Well, some people are going to go for it. My legs are pretty tired by this point. I'm sitting good in this group. Like I'm not doing bad, but like I said, I just don't have the kick that these guys have. You can see Matt's starting to go. I'm doing all right, but watch how many people pass me between this traffic light and the finish line. A couple more are going to keep coming. There they go. But hey, I was happy. Good race. Enjoyed it, and I'll see you next year. This is Chris saying peace.